Hello and welcome to the Storytelling for the Soul podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Kanata, and this is the place we talk about all things expressive writing and other creative techniques, all with a little bit of Buffy the Vampire Slayer thrown in. Buckle up and enjoy. Welcome back to another podcast, wherever and whenever you are listening to this. I hope you are well and that you are having an amazing day or evening. Today, I want to riff off a concept that I am not claiming as my own because no doubt I have heard this somewhere along the way in a bunch of personal development content that I have listened to in the past. I listen to a bunch of podcasts, I read books, I read articles. I love this concept of self-improvement, not in a way that comes from a place of deficiency, just in the way that I choose to show up as my best possible self. And I don't think that I am a done deal, basically. I am a constant work in progress. But what I want to talk about today is this concept that when you really drill down to the facts and reality, all we really have is this present moment. What do I mean by that? So as I'm talking to you on the 24th of July, 2025 at 5:45 p.m., all I really have is now, this moment. Sure, I have a past. A bunch of stuff has happened in my past. I have the future, whatever's going to happen tomorrow and beyond. And let's face it, so much of that, for all of our over-engineering and attempts to control every facet of our life, so much of the future is completely outside of my control. Now, of course, a lot of it is very much within my control. What I do when I wake up tomorrow, within my control. What I choose to eat for breakfast, within my control. So on and so on and so on. But I want you to reframe this as something incredibly powerful. Because if all we have is this moment, it means that within you right now, listening to this, you have the power to write your next chapter, to write your current chapter, to write your next book. Yes, I'm an advocate of journaling. I don't teach standard journaling. I don't teach brain dumping. And a lot of that is because I know through my own lived experience and working with others, I don't believe that that's how you get all of the benefits that you can possibly gain from writing and journaling. But think about this. I also talk about how much wisdom the physical body holds. Now, this comes from my training as an embodied processing practitioner through the Centre for Healing here in Australia. Embodied processing is a body-based approach to working with trauma. Now, this is not a new concept, but I'm sure you've heard that the body, the physical body, does not know the difference between past, present, and potentially future. That is insanely powerful. What that means is that we can create our future right here, right now. What that means is that with the right tools, with the right support, and I'm in no way saying that you should do this on your own. I think it's very wise to reach out and get whatever professional guidance and support that you need to support what I'm saying. But the reality is the body doesn't know the difference between right here, right now, 24th of July, 2025, and Sarah back on the 24th of July, 1993. So what does that mean? Well, from an embodied processing lens and also from a journaling lens, it means that we can dip in and out of the past, and that gives us the capacity to relive the experiences that have that capacity to almost leave the scars on us. You know what I'm talking about. We all have those kind of experiences. those experiences that play on our mind, those experiences that make us think twice about the things that we want to do. A really easy example for me to talk about with this is public speaking. I can use journaling. I can use body-based techniques that I've learned as part of embodied processing. So what do I mean by that? I'm talking about things like the physiological sigh, deep breathing, what we call a resource. This is the foundational element of my teaching. The resource ensures that we can process whatever we need to in a safe way. So a resource is essentially anything internal or external to us that helps us to be present in the moment and to be with and process whatever sensations, emotions, feelings arise in the body. Now, a resource, I'm going to describe some words here, is something that helps you to feel safe, supported, comforted, grounded. Now, if none of those words you resonate with, think about the opposite of overwhelm. And that's what a resource is. And it can be absolutely anything. For me, it's Bibi the dog. For my clients, so many of them, it's nature, it's the beach. It can also be a specific memory, a food, a color, a place, and best of all, if you are struggling, it can be something completely imaginary. But here's the thing, and this is why I use resource with journaling. Journaling, like talking, can be triggering. As we are writing about something that is challenging, our body doesn't know that we're not re-experiencing that moment in time. Our body feels those same sensations. And if you think about public speaking, so say I've spoken in the past and I ended up having a panic attack. I can basically recreate that situation through my journaling and my writing. And I can allow my body to process and to feel whatever in that moment I couldn't, because obviously I'm presenting, so I can't exactly stop and tell people that, sorry, I need to process my emotions, feelings, thoughts, and sensations. No. There's just moments in life where it's the reality that you just got to keep on going. But then what happens is those moments, they stick with us and then they impact future moments. Then suddenly I'm afraid of public speaking because that one time back then I had a panic attack. And what happens with trauma is that it gets stuck in our body. And because it is stuck in our body, the only way to process that trauma is through the body. So, bringing this back to the concept of the only moment that we have is now, I want you to sit and think about how powerful that is. Because what that means is that we can give ourselves, with the right support, the opportunity to recreate a situation and to allow whatever needed to happen in that moment to happen. Now, I will say, I do not recommend, if you have never journaled before or done any kind of body-based work, to start writing about your most traumatic experience in life. No. What I want you to do is to give journaling a go and start with something like, what am I grateful for today? What happened today that put a smile on my face? What is my intention for the day? Maybe if you're journaling in the evening, what are 3 things that happened today that moved me closer to my short or long-term goals? And we want to build on that. And once we've built the habit, once we've built the practice, once we've got the resource in place, which makes this looking at the past and trying to process what wasn't processed back then, that's what using the resource gives us a safe way to do that. Now, I'm going to leave it there. Like I said, the fact that the only moment we have is now, this gives us the power to rewrite the past and to write the future. Now, if you are someone who knows the benefits of journaling, but you just can't get yourself into the habit, or maybe you are journaling, but you're super interested in how we can weave in body-based approaches and this resourcing concept into what you're already doing, check out my monthly journal prompts for self-care subscription. So as I record on the 24th of July 2025, I am offering a 7-day free trial to new subscribers. So jump in, try it on me, and beyond the 7 days, it's only $11 monthly Australian. I bet you spend more on a couple of coffees per week. I bet you spend more on that fancy pair of shoes that you're only going to wear to that party once upon a time to impress your friends. Invest in yourself and do something that can help you to reconnect with your true self. If you are interested in my work, learning more about embodied journaling, or the subscription that I've just mentioned, you can head over to my website, sarahkanata.com. My name is spelled SARAHCANNATA. That's all one word, .com on the end. I will leave it there, and I will see you for the next episode.